Mazda's redesigned CX-90 is an enthusiast's three-row SUV on paper, but does it have what it takes to keep our interest peaked over 40,000 miles? With its rear-wheel drive-based underpinnings and turbocharged inline-six engine, the 2024 Mazda CX-90 is the Japanese automaker's strongest argument yet that it's a premium vehicle brand. But BMW and Mercedes-like chassis and powertrain architectures alone are not the only arbitrators of what makes a high-end vehicle, and the exclusively all-wheel drive CX-90's $40,970 starting price puts this Mazda more in line with mainstream midsize three-row SUV options such as the Toyota Grand Highlander, Kia Telluride, Jeep Grand Cherokee L, and Honda Pilot, rivals the Mazda toppled in a recent five-way comparison test. But it's one thing to impress us for a few hundred miles, it's another to do so over thousands. Now, we have 40,000 miles to see what it's like to live with the CX-90. This ought to be enough time to help us figure out if the CX-90 is a mainstream SUV with premium decor or a bona fide premium SUV with a mainstream price tag. The $62,550 sticker attached to our top-of-the-line 2024 CX-90 Turbo S Premium Plus certainly pushes it into premium vehicle territory. That sum also includes $325 worth of carpeted mats and $900 for a port-installed tow package, which consists of a trailer hitch and harness, tow ball and mount, and brake controller. The latter item lives inelegantly on the left corner of the lower dash, prime knee-bashing real estate. As a Turbo S, our deep crystal blue mica test vehicle packs the more powerful variant of Mazda's new 3.3-liter inline-six. With premium gas running through its fuel lines, the engine pumps out 340 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque. Feed at 87 octane, and 21 horses leave the pasture. The engine's tune-in lower-level 110/90 turbo models develops only 280 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque regardless of octane. That's probably enough grunt for most CX-90 buyers, but we're not ones to turn down the chance for our collective right foot to wield more horsepower, even if capitalizing on this opportunity adds $7,000 to the bottom line compared to a non-S Turbo Premium Plus model. Those 7 stacks of greenbacks net more than powertrain tweaks, though. The Turbo S Premium Plus features a handful of niceties its lesser counterpart does without, including ventilated, and not just heated, rear bucket seats, a roomy and opulent second-row center console, swiveling headlights, and a lane centering system. Plus, there's the Turbo S moniker itself, an epithet typically associated with six-figure Porsches that CX-90 Turbo S owners can now use to impress peers, potential business partners, and future in-laws. Look, I'm no Bezos, but I am doing well enough that I bought a new Turbo S the other week. Though our CX-90 Turbo S may be the most powerful iteration of Mazda's three-row SUV, it's not the most sprightly option. Even with 272 fewer pounds to push around, our 4,964-pound long-term CX-90's acceleration times at sub-triple-digit speeds trailed those of the gas-electric 323-horsepower CX-90 PHEV. Our long-term SUV's 6.2-second sprint to 60 miles per hour and 14.7-second quarter-mile pass fell short of the PHEV's figures by 0.3 and 0.2 seconds, respectively. Its 3.6-second 30 to 50 mile per hour run was 0.9 second behind that of its plug-in hybrid kin. That said, our CX-90 accelerated more quickly than many of its six-cylinder peers from other mainstream brands, even if the default normal drive mode's powertrain map leaves the SUV feeling a bit listless off the line at anything short of wide-open throttle, surely a concession Mazda made in the name of fuel efficiency. A 48-volt electrical system that powers a stop-start motor sandwiched between the engine and 8-speed automatic transmission also contributes to the relative miserliness of this sizable SUV. In its first few thousand miles, our CX-90 is averaging 23 mpg. That's a bit off the EPA's combined estimate of 25 mpg but better than the 22 mpg our long-term 2016 Mazda CX-9 averaged over 40,000 miles, a feat that's made more impressive by the fact the larger six-cylinder CX-90 carries 571 pounds of additional mass compared to the four-cylinder CX-9. In spite of its heft, the CX-90, with the aid of its 21-inch Toyo Open Country A50 all-season tires, circled our skid pad at a respectable 0.86 grams and came to a halt from 70 miles per hour in 172 feet. Both figures bettered those of our long-term 2021 Mazda CX-30. That 3,293-pound subcompact SUV pulled 0.85 grams on the skid pad and stopped from 70 miles per hour in 174 feet. Our CX-9, meanwhile, kicked off its long-term test with a 0.85 grams skid pad run and a 168-foot stop from 70 miles per hour. Still, the fact our CX-90 accelerates, grips, and stops like a much lighter vehicle does not necessarily correlate to its driving experience. Whereas the CX-9 brought an almost Miata-like sense of dynamic finesse and engagement to the mid-size SUV segment, the CX-90 is stoic and demure. There's still more behind-the-wheel involvement than is typical of vehicles in this segment, but its slow and heavy steering, tendency to understeer, this despite just 50.6% of its mass sitting on the front wheels, and controlled but significant body motions make it feel a little less special from the driver's perspective. The opposite is true for passengers, at least in the case of the Turbo S Premium Plus trim, which is available with either tan or white leather wares. The latter hue lines the inside of our CX-90. The soft hides complement a cabin filled with high-quality plastics, striking metal decor, and a fabric-covered dashboard with distinct hanging stitches that augment physical climate controls. On the display front, there's a 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster and a 12.3-inch infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto compatibility. It all adds up to a cabin with the look and feel of a premium product. Mazda has high ambitions for both the CX-90 and its future as a premium brand. The newest 3-row model from Mazda certainly made a strong initial impression on us, but we'll see how that sentiment holds up over 40,000 miles. Months in fleet, 1 month current mileage, 4,678 miles. Average fuel economy, 23 mpg. Fuel tank size, 19.6 gallons. Observed fuel range, 450 miles. Service, $0 normal wear, $0 repair, $0. Damage and destruction, $0.